The following is a presentation of the Magnitude Sports Network. Let's turn things over to the broadcast booth. The pregame show starts now.
All right, welcome this week. Join you from Dakota Stadium here at Moorhead High School. It is playoff action. The Dakota Fusion getting set to take on the Med City Football Club, Med City FC out of Rochester. This is the first round, if you will, 4 teams making the postseason from the North Conference of the NPSL. Kind of breaking some ground here. The Dakota Fusion, Riley, is just narrowly missing the playoffs a year ago. They've kind of added in the NPSL, the National Premier Soccer League, about how they've kind of added more, especially here in the north half of the NPSL. And the Fusion, led by one Yu Sukunomi, has got themselves into the postseason.
Yeah, it's been fun to see the soccer league grow, and now the Fusion have a chance to play here in the playoffs on kind of a gloomy day here in Moorhead, but I think if you ask the soccer players, they'd be pretty thrilled with how it is in July here. Should be pretty pleasant for them to play soccer this evening, and it should be a good contest here this evening, and always fun when you have playoff action.
All right, well, both these teams, the officials kind of bringing them both in, as I know there was kind of some question just down getting lineups and pronunciations and such here from the Med City side, and I know their head coach was going to go talk to the officials here, just kind of wondering. I don't believe the lights are working. I know that kind of the ongoing and almost never-ending construction going on here at Moorhead High and Moorhead Public Schools. There's kind of been, I don't know if the lights are working, and I thought, well, what if there's rain? What if we go into overtime and it gets a little dark? So I think there's kind of some question on that as we're just moments away to try and get this match underway here. So, some things we want to keep. Some players to watch in the standings and such. You take a look at the standings there. You see where Med City and Dakota Fusion, who have played to 2 very low-scoring games, as Dakota Fusion 0-1-1 against Med City in the regular season. It was a 1-1 draw back in mid-May, May 13th, and then a 1-0 loss on June 17th. And I know kind of physical play. They kind of took some possession time away from the Fusion as well, but some lower scoring matchups. So if that's any indication, maybe will 1 be enough? Will 2 be enough tonight?
Yeah, especially here in the playoffs, it seems like they always say defense wins championships. That's what you'd expect here in a playoff match, is a low-scoring matchup, which you've already seen between these two teams. And in this situation, I think you'd have to give the edge to the Fusion just based on the fact that they're at home. They're on their home turf. We'll see how much that comes into a factor throughout the game here tonight. But when you're playing in the playoffs and you're at home, that's always a bonus.
All right, we will take a timeout here, as we will take a quick break. We will come back with more coming up here in just a moment, as we will take a timeout, get you some more, as we will take a look at the players to keep an eye on and much more. We'll do that here in just a moment. As we come back here at Jim Dakota Stadium at Moorhead High School, as we get ready for this opening round of play of the National Premier Soccer League in the North Conference. The winner of this matchup, Duluth, is the favorite in the other first-round matchup, as Duluth FC is the number 1 seed, as they will host their matchup tonight, and if they win, the winner of this match would host coming up this weekend. As we will take a look at the players to watch here in this one, and with the Fusion, Yu Sukanome, that is an impressive number. 16 goals, far and away the leader here in the NPSL.
Yeah, 16 goals is definitely impressive. He's going to be a catalyst tonight for them and also just throughout the playoffs. Looking at them, if they want to go far, he's going to be kind of the focal point of that offense and that attack.
Yep, the NPSL Golden Boot winner, most goals scored of the 93 teams in the NSPL, which is phenomenal. Scott Neal on the other side, he has 6 goals to lead a Mid-City team that's very defensive-oriented. And a team that's going to try and keep the score down a little bit. You imagine just 3 total goals between these two teams. We'll get the first half rolling here momentarily. I think we're foregoing I don't know if they're having scoreboard problems or what the issue is, but we might be keeping this on the field. And once they get rolling, we'll try and keep.
We'll do our best.
Yes, we'll do our best. And as far as when we get stoppage time and things like that will be, and we've not gotten the whistle from the official as of yet. And once we do so, we'll get this one underway. Fusion in black jerseys, Med-City out of Rochester. Their home games based at RCTC at that multi-purpose facility at Rochester Community and Technical College. They play football, American football, and soccer, and a lot of sports at that facility. Multi-purpose facility. Med-City beat Sioux Falls. Their last matchup last Wednesday, July 5th, at home at RCTC. 3-0 was the final. Med-City 2 ties before that, including one with Duluth. Their last loss came to Duluth May 31st. 1-0, but had a lot of draws this year, including one with the Fusion May 13th. And a 1-0 win over LC Reese May 20th. And we are underway as we get this one rolling. Kicking towards the east goal. The Med-City will send it back to their goalkeeper. So the goalkeeper is Iker Gonzalez for Med-City. We'll go with this starting lineup. Lucas Hart is a midfielder. Iker Gonzalez is the keeper tonight. Toby Milward, a midfielder. Tristan Jamo at a midfielder. We've got a whistle and a foul. Is about 20 seconds. Now they've put the clock, so we're a few seconds ahead with our clock. Now they've officially put the clock down, so we're about 10 seconds ahead as Med-City controls. Come to the near side defender Andrew Wilkinson here on the near side. They turn it back. Also out there is a midfielder. It's Toby Milward. We'll send it back to the goalkeeper. Fusion trying to put a little defensive pressure on. Sent back towards midfield, headed back and controlled by Mid-City up the near sideline. Fusion take it back. Keep an eye, 18, Yu Sukanome is, see him kind of in the middle of the pitch right now as he takes off. They tried to kind of lead feed, not quite a cross, but trying to get it out of the feet of Sukanome, intercepted, taken there by the Fusion. They try a cross, that is blocked on the attempt from Rashad Ogun, attacker for the Fusion. Comes back towards midfield where Med-City will control as we're about a minute and a half into play here in the opening half. And finally cleared out, nicely done by Med-City, trying to kind of get it in their offensive end. And the Fusion defense trying to put a little pressure on. And now they'll try and get set up on offense, Riley.
Yeah, both teams just kind of feeling each other out right now. Fusion with a decent chance, now Med-City with one of their own.
That one cleared out nicely by Ethan Bishop for the Fusion and out of play. And you're probably going to see maybe 5-10 minutes, maybe a little bit longer of this before, maybe there's a turnover or giveaway of some kind where we might see maybe the first good quality scoring chance of the night. Thrown in on the near sideline, headed by Mid-City. Fusion trying to clear it out. And headed back by Mid-City. Headed back that time by Toby Millward. Fusion trying to clear out. Here comes Marita. Rushiro Marita coming to the near side. I think that's going to be a foul on Millward. Like he kind of grabbed him by the back of the jersey there. And it'll be possession to the Fusion.
It seemed like he was probably okay giving up that foul, it looked like, when he was walking away. He kind of pointed his hand up and said, yep, I did it, but I think he knew he was beat on the outside.
Like a D-back that got beat, just so you know, I'll take the 50 yards for interference.
Yep, exactly.
Same thing applies there. Xavier Ogaro comes to the near side as control near side. Come back for the Fusion. They'll send it back to their goalkeeper. Is Kodai Suzuki, the goalkeeper tonight for the Fusion. Back through midfield, headed back. A little over 3 minutes into this opening half in this opening round playoff matchup here at Jim Dakota Stadium. Attempt blocked. We're trying to send that along. Good battle for it. You can tell where Med City really aggressive, kind of in the middle of the pitch there, trying to keep things and to say out of the kind of basically the middle of the pitch, trying to kind of force things towards the edges as that ball goes out of play. You can see they're very aggressive. They really bottling up midfield very well here early. And still maybe that feeling out phase of this one. Nearly 4 minutes in officially. We're about 10 seconds ahead as that is blocked and out of play. Is trying to send that along. Ben Colborn for the Fusion. Colborn a Moorhead native, I believe.
He sure was, a Moorhead spud, just like myself.
It's good to see a little local flavor here with the talent that has been brought in with this Fusion, and they've really upped the talent level with Sukanome among others. Really, I guess, a very entertaining brand of soccer as a foul assessed. Ethan Bishop. Free kick opportunity here for the Fusion. Sends that across the way. Fusion look to keep possession. Pass Bishop, they move in, close into the 18. Loose ball is Marita trying to keep it in play and does in the near corner. Trying to get it into the box. On a cross, went low and across that time. Sometimes that's more effective than putting it in the air, and that one's blocked and cleared out. Med City will clear that one out. Nicely done. That one is, just wide of the goal from around midfield after the turnover. Tristan Jameau did a nice job. He blocked the attempt and kind of caught the goalkeeper kind of sleeping a little bit. He was a good 10, 15 yards away from the net and just wide right of the goal as we see it.
He sure did. He caught him napping, and that's a goalkeeper's worst nightmare. I know both of my older brothers played goalkeeper in high school, and they'll tell you that is the worst feeling when you come out a little too far and you see that ball go over your head.
Kind of flipping the field. They kind of flip the pitch there as Jumeau on the throw in from the far side. And City gets it back and will have a whistle and I believe a foul assessed. And it's going to be against the Fusion, and it might lead to a free kick. Is over there for Med City. Looks like Martin Rasmussen, defender. They were the number 3 seed, Fusion the 2 seed, even though mentioned Med City has a win and a tie. They do a 1-1 draw. Scott Neal, their leading scorer, 6 goals. Henry Tolbert with 4, Lucas Hart with 3, and we'll have a free kick coming from hopefully about 10 yards out. See how they set things up. Try and set up a cross, see if they can get a header. Go low, but headed out nicely by the Fusion. Well done by the Dakota Fusion and Ethan Bishop. Back around 30 yards out. But again, early on, not a lot of possession here for the Dakota Fusion. Had one maybe good scoring chance that was denied by Jamo's block, again, kind of flipped the field a little bit. Nearly 7 minutes in, and scoreless. Winner will play this weekend. Could have potential to host if Duluth gets upset. Back along the near side and out of play as Fusion tried to find James Bolger, midfielder. Sebastian Acuna on defense. Ethan Bishop, a defender. Brandon Gasper starting as a midfielder tonight. Xavier Ogaro on defense. Yoshiro Morita, an attacker. Thrown in by Bishop. Into the box. And controlled by Ogun. Ogun normally wearing 12, wears number 7 tonight. Coming into the near side. Not quite goal line extended, but working things Morita and has it blocked out of play. Kind of lost his angle there as I think he was trying to set up a cross, but defended nicely by Med-City and out of play.
Do get the corner kick, though, as a consolation.
That's not a bad option. I think they're going to go, let's see. Corner, it'll become from the near corner. Trying to set things up. I think it'll be Morita. Oh, it's going to be maybe Sukanome on the corner kick. It was Sukanome and right across, but nobody can make contact with it. Goes out of play, and from the far corner will be delivered in. And Ethan Bishop looks like he is going to jog over, and another second corner here, kind of back-to-back corners early on, is nearly at the 9-minute mark of the opening half.
I think they're going to say that one went just out of bounds off a Med-City player.
Okay, so not a corner kick. They will throw it in. And headed, Sukanome will try and keep it in play. Headed by Colburn. They were really trying to bottle up Sukanome. Going to put a couple of defenders on him. And is play going to continue on? No, I'm going to say he was out of play. They really bottled him up. Brought Matthew Roberts, essentially a second defender. Now we'll have another corner kick. Quickly approached in and just missed the net. Not bad. Sukanome quickly finding Morita. Tried to go top right corner and just missed the net.
That's probably the best chance that either team has had to score early on in this game. A pretty good shot from inside the 18-yard box and went for that top right corner and just missed, but a good look.
Gonzalez, the goalkeeper. He's the goalkeeper. Got some reserves. Joshua Bolsiger is a reserve. William Van Hornbeek will be their backup goalkeeper tonight for Med-City. A lot of play and need to send it in. Ethan Bishop, once more, solid defender for the Fusion. Thrown in and headed back by Med-City. Sukanome, and they bottle him up, and they're going to send it along the far sideline. Bolger. Send it back for Ethan Bishop. Bishop, again, they very aggressive. Back towards midfield, and they force a change of possession there. Will be Millward, seeing kind of the middle of your screen. Number 8 midfielder for Med-City as the ball played along the far sideline. Fusion trying to be aggressive and force a mistake. Good work there by the Fusion as they got aggressive there with Xavier Ogaro on defense. And they'll take possession over. Nearly 11 minutes into this opening half. Long feed trying to find Sukanome, but headed by a teammate right to goalkeeper. It's taken there by Gonzalez.
A really nice defensive play. They're trying to get that long stretch over the top through ball into Sukanome, but able to head it back to the goalkeeper. Very nicely done. Textbook stuff, really.
Ball through center, controlled at midfield, is handled there by Toby Millward once again. He has been very active. Rita trying to come in. Aggressively on defense. They're kind of bottling up midfield, but they're not taking a lot of chances. They're staying very patient. Sent in deep, just outside the 18, where Med-City looks to control. And the ball rolls out of play as Ogaro will let that one roll out of play. And Kodai Suzuki will do the honors. Goalkeeper for the Fusion is 12 minutes into this opening half. No score. Riley Swinson, Matt Anderson here at Dakota Stadium at Moorhead High. To midfield. Headed back by Med City. Another header. And Fusion look to control. Just trying to get it really out of the middle of the pitch. Med City controls. Taken back. Bishop got it started. Long feed, trying to connect that time with Ogun. And Gonzalez, the goalkeeper. He's about 15 yards out of the goal to control. See how far they're going to let him advance it and how far he looks to. They go to the middle, and they will go through midfield. They back about 30 yards out. Fusion looked to control. He tried to find Marita, but attempt was blocked. It's Cal Pritchard. The attack for the Fusion, it appears, is Med City back the other way with it. Turnover there. Want to find Marita, but blocked. Marita was streaking down the near side. They had numbers. Med City recovered nicely defensively. It is a very aggressive approach, and I think the Fusion kind of have to match that if they want to try and get any kind of scoring chances, which have been few and far between here early on. It's City from left to right. Millward sends that one along. They'll come to their side. Low and across. Kicked aside. Matthias Miller right across that time, and now the Fusion with Sukanome. Sukanome with some room to work. His pass knocked away, and will roll back towards the goal where it's taken there by Suzuki. A third of the way through this opening half. First ever appearance of the Dakota Fusion of the conference semifinal. First year, as we mentioned in the outset, the NPSLs at a conference semifinal for the Midwest region, the North Conference. You would have to win 6 games to win the overall NPSL title. In the past, it was just 4, but this is kind of uncharted territory for this Fusion football club. We got whistle is Suzuki mixing it up with one of the Med City players, and not see the yellow card early, just looking to see, turn around for the number. It's Tristan Jamo. And he's getting an instruction or some instruction from the official, and maybe a scolding in the process there as well. No yellow card handled, but I think this is their get out of jail free card, I think, at this point. All through midfield, headed back. And the Fusion with Sukanome. What a year he's had. Now he'll find Marita. Marita just outside the 18. Sukanome sliding to try and keep possession alive, and Fusion will do so. Bolger. Come back along the far side. Sebastian Acuna has a cross. Ball loose, control by Med City. And we'll have a whistle and a foul. I think looks like they will get Brandon Gasper for that, and they will.
Yeah, both teams playing pretty physical. You saw it down near the Fusion net, and pretty much everything in the midfield, anytime the ball's been in the air or contested, both teams getting physical at the point of attack. It'll be interesting to see how that is called as the game moves forward. So far it's been called pretty evenly, but nothing too extreme yet.
One thing that's, I think, good, Riley, is, the weather's pretty cool. I mean, for July, it's low 70s, not a lot of humidity, and guys are going to use a lot of energy early on, but I think it's going to be maybe a little bit easier and quicker to try and recover from all that as the ball headed out of play.
Well, absolutely, especially on the turf. I mean, they always say it adds about 10 degrees. If it were hot and sunny out, that turf really heats up and makes it not very pleasant to play on, speaking from experience. And with the sun obviously being hidden by the clouds tonight, a lot more pleasant to be out on the field. And like you said, it's a long game, and especially in the playoffs, guys going to use all that energy, and it looks like we're going to get the best from both teams, which is always good to see.
Toby Millward. He's out there. Matthew Roberts, midfielder, out there as well, is come back towards midfield. Defenders will handle it. They'll send it all the way back to goalkeeper Gonzalez, about 30 yards out, 30 yards from his own goal, headed back by the Fusion. As they'll look to control, Pritchard. Now to the near side. Ball loose now. Taken there by Ogun. Now Mid-City. Back the other way with it. Boy, nice defensive play. They'll take it back with a Fusion will. Really well done that time by Brandon Gaspert. That's a little over 17 minutes into this opening half. Still scoreless. All sent back to goalkeeper Kodai Suzuki. Sent deep, headed back by Med-City. And we'll have a whistle and a foul. Toby Millward after it for Millward. A couple of goals on the year, but you can tell a lot of things kind of predicated through him. Probably more so defensively than offensively, but he really handles things really in the middle of the pitch very well. Ball back to the near side. Up 30 to 35 out. Control back by the Fusion. Gasper. Deep along the far side. Looked like he's trying to find Acuna. Headed back. Sukanome trying to chase it down. Over to the far side. Tangled up with Millward. And Sukanome, yes, kept it in play. Takes the ball away. We'll come back. Al Pritchard. And that one pass did not connect. And see Bishop kind of put his hand up and said, "My bad." I think he was looking to. I think he was trying to lead him over to that far corner, but he kind of stopped and all sent out of play.
It's really been the Fusion's game so far, as those over-the-top through balls trying to send guys in towards the net. I think they've kind of figured out Med-City, like we talked about in the pregame, a pretty defensive-minded team. They're clogging up the middle of that field pretty good, and so I think the Fusion are just trying to go over the top of them in a sense, almost like in baseball. If you can't hit it through them, hit it over them. That's kind of the same game plan here.
Sukanome is as aggressive we've seen him or anybody from the Fusion, and that may have helped to force a change of possession there, as he really tried to force a turnover, harass the goalkeeper a little bit. Headed back by Bolger, and that ball out of play, and will be controlled by Med-City. Thrown in by Med-City here from the near side. Nearly 20 minutes into this opening half. Matthias Milla, defender for Med-City out of Rochester. Good to see the Fusion make some strides, and yeah, it's a very entertaining brand of soccer. I think the talent level of this team has really ramped up. Sukanome has been a big reason why, but he's had plenty of help, and it's been a successful campaign for them. Again, really some different styles. Where Med-City, again, if they get to one or two, if they get to two, their chance is pretty good. Where the Fusion, we've seen score 5-6 goals at times. 4-1 loss to Duluth July 8th, last Saturday, after an 8-2 win. Sukanome, a big night in that one with an 8-2 win over Joy Club out of St. Louis Park. That was July 1st here at Jim Goda Stadium. Ball back through center, nearly 21 minutes in, just about halfway through. Opening half of play in this playoff matchup. And City looks to control. Good footwork there by Med-City. Now the near side, Henry Tolbert. Tolbert in deep. First attempt blocked, tries a cross, and sent out of play. Nice job to force him kind of goal line extended there by the Fusion, but try to center, throw a cross in there, but out of play, and would be from the near corner. It will be Toby Millward to send it in. I believe this is their second corner of the game. I don't think if they've had, I believe they had one earlier. They had first or second corner opportunity.
I think first corner they had that free kick was kind of like a corner.
That's what it was. Headed, second header out of play. That was really set up well by Med-City. Tried to find Lucas Hart, their leading scorer. second header out of play. First one set it up for him and had it just a couple of feet above the crossbar. Fusion back with Suzuki, their goalkeeper. Inigo Chavarria is the backup goalkeeper tonight for the Dakota Fusion. Headed back through midfield. Sukanome couldn't get to it as he was flanked well by Andrew Wilkinson. And Med City will control as they come back the other way. Tristan Jamo finding Toby Millward once again. Millward will find Ulale. Only halfway through this opening half of play. They haven't had much of anything for stoppage time so far. Keep that in mind once we get towards the end of the first half. You'll see the Fusion, they've playing things very patient and really kind of bottling things up again around midfield, and Man City will reset. Gonzalez, Millward, quarterbacking things, finding Hart. Turn back to Millwood wide. Put a little pressure on with Ogun to the Fusion, and on the near side comes Med City. Only 24 minutes into this first half, and scoring opportunities been very few and far between. Maybe about 1 to 2 for each team of this first half. Batted away and out of play. Tried to find Scott Neal, but broken up by Ethan Bishop.
Yeah, and it feels to me like whoever's able to get on the board first is going to feel more like 3 or 4 than just 1, based on, like you said, not very many scoring chances.
No, and that's probably the way Med City wants it. There was an attempt from Henry Tolbert, blocked and out of play. Should come from the near corner, and I think the later and later we go to, or one's going to feel like the floodgates are going to open up, really.
Absolutely. I think a lot of it's going to come down to these set pieces here, corner kicks, free kicks, anytime you have a chance to set your offense, because both teams have been very solid defensively on that back line.
Millward. So they set up Hart. He's about at the 10-yard line. Probably the guy you're looking at first. And as they look to control, Wilkinson, and ball out of play. They kind of set up Hart kind of outside around the 10-yard line here on this side of the pitch. Tried to go a little bit deeper, I think, for Wilkinson. And Fusion. They'll throw it in from the far side. And a whistle and a foul. They might get Ogun. Yeah, looks to be the case. Med City get a chance here early on. About 20. Game clock here is about 25 and a half minutes right now. Our clock's about 10 to 12 seconds ahead. Just an FYI on that. We're pretty much in sync. They'll throw it in. And here to the near side and taken by Suzuki. That one for Sukanome. Boy, they've really bottled him up, and that's going to be a foul. As the second defender was coming in from behind, they had Mateus, and then also it was Lucas Hart that was kind of coming back to be that second defender. It's the closest thing to a double team in soccer, and that's going to be the case for Sukanome, but it will be free kick opportunity here for the Fusion as they're about 30 to 35 out.
And it seems like every time Sukanome gets the ball on his foot, it's either 1, maybe even 2 Med City defenders on him. They know who the most dangerous guy on the field is, no doubt about that.
So free kick opportunity. Sukanome kind of setting hit up. He's about inside the 10-yard line. Headed out by Med City. They really bottled things up well. That free kick opportunity. And they'll have possession. Down the near side it goes. They try to keep it in play and do a nice job of doing so. And ball sent out of play. 27 minutes in. Matthias Miller will send that one in, where that one controlled by Scott Neal. Fusion clear it out. They'll try and advance it. Sukanome waiting for it. Some contact with him. Sukanome tried to find Acuna. On the far side it goes. And Jake Strahan on a defense will chase that one down. And kicked out of play. So the Fusion will get kicked out of play, but that's going to set up really, well, potential for some offensive opportunities here, Riley, for the Dakota Fusion. They will throw it in.
They've been threatening here the past couple of times down the field, right? They'll kick it out of bounds, but before that, you just feel like they're a couple passes away from really making something happen.
Yep, Bolger, and that was, I'll say a missed opportunity, but Bolger unable to handle it, and it'll be thrown in. Tolbert couldn't keep it in play, as defended well, defended tightly there by the Dakota Fusion. Xavier Ogaro. A little over 28 minutes into this first half. Scoreless. Mad City forces a change of possession at midfield. Tolbert has it denied, and Fusion clear it out. Length of the pitch. Acuna's attempt blocked, as in was Ogun that time, and he was denied. Had the goalkeeper out of the cage there, but had him bottled up. And the shot attempt knocked away. Head back to goalkeeper Suzuki for the Fusion. Scoreless here in the opening half of play. Long and controlled by Ogun. Taken back by Med City, as recovering nicely there was Toby Millward. Sukanome trying to force a turnover, change of possession, as comes to the near side. Bishop over there for the Fusion, controlled by Hart. Lead feed. And Suzuki loose. Clearing attempt blocked, and Suzuki able to get the loose ball and come away with it. So, turnover there, forced quick scoring opportunity in that change of possession, but Fusion come away out of that just fine. Sebastian Acuna on defense sends that one along. Is trying to connect with Ogun. Mad City controls. Merida coming up hard that time on Andrew Wilkinson. To midfield. Ball goes wide but kept in play. And that one to the goalkeeper is Lucas Hart. Trying to get it in his possession. They really did a good job of kind of bottling up Hart for the most part. Have the Fusion here in the first half of play. They come back with Bolger. Fusion with possession. Colborne. If anybody knows this facility on this team, that would be him, the former Moorhead Spud. On for Acuna. Acuna tried to find Sukanome loose and scrambling to get that ball deep into the box. Was the goalkeeper Gonzalez.
And you mentioned knowing the field well. For a while, when this turf was first put in and played soccer on it, of course, the Moorhead High School team always used to play over at the Horizon Middle School in a natural grass surface. When the turf was put in, it was really an advantage because when you play at home, the ball just rolls so much faster on this turf than a natural grass surface. And now it seems like just about everyone's got turf, so that's kind of evened the playing field. But for a while, and you'll still see it come into effect, however, everyone kind of knows how to play that now. But it's definitely a big difference between grass and turf as we have here tonight.
You know, and this turf gets a lot of usage, too, as Mad City tries to send an over-the-top pass. You kind of know, I don't say there's dead spots, but you kind of know what spots might be a little bit trickier than others. Attempt blocked. And scooped up by Suzuki as that attempt blocked well that time as they tried to find Scott Neal. And back come the Fusion. All near midfield is a little over 32 minutes into this opening half. First round playoff matchup. Fusion control things, try to work it into the box. Acuna sends it on goal, but it is scooped up by Iker Gonzalez, the goalkeeper for Med City. Losses on the year, both to Duluth, 5-1 and 4-1. They'd love to get a third opportunity, perhaps. I think both these teams would. Med City handled Duluth and played them very well. That low, and that is scooped up by Suzuki. Scoring opportunity there. Made a couple of saves here in the last 4 or 5 minutes as James Bolger comes near side for Bishop. Colburn. Fusion being patient, a little selective, and now we'll try and send it deep. Acuna for Rashad Goon, and out of play, and Med City will throw it in. That one thrown in. When they try to get set up offensively, Riley, you're thinking there's maybe one and maybe like a chaser on Sukanome, just to kind of keep another set of eyes on him?
Yeah, you got to think probably just making sure that, you know, even if Med City is rushing down the field, they still always have someone on the back line there. It's almost like a kind of a QB spy, the way you think of it. You know, you see that a lot in football if the quarterback's been hurting them, or a kind of almost a face guard in basketball. I think that's kind of the game plan they have tonight on Sukanome, is just wanting to eliminate him completely from that game plan.
I'd say the QB spy was the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
The face guarding one is also, I think, maybe a better comparison.
And playoff soccer is just always so interesting to me. You mentioned both teams wanting another crack at Duluth. It seems as though pretty much in all the other sports, whether you try to, I mean, no matter how hard you try, the other team's going to have chances on offense. I mean, in football, they're going to get the ball eventually. Basketball, baseball, the same thing. They're going to get their crack at it. Here in soccer, you really can just stack that back line and wait for the other team to possibly make a mistake. And to me, that's what makes it so fun, is the strategy of soccer. You got so many guys on such a large field. It's almost like a game of chess for the managers of both sides.
That headed out of play as Med City will throw it in. Throw it in near midfield as about 35 minutes right now. Just crossing the 35-minute mark of the opening half. And again, really for stoppage time, there's been not a lot so far. So once we kind of get to the end of the period, we might be looking at maybe perhaps a minute, maybe a little bit more. Long pass, cross, and connects as they keep it in play. As they'll send it in deep and off the side of the net. I think they wanted to get that, to Hart, and I think they did, out of play. It was Lucas Hart. Actually, no, it was not Hart. Looking to see who that was. Hart's here as a midfielder here on the near side. Yeah, Suzuki to send it in. Actually, Scott Neal with that shot attempted off the side of the goal. Back near side, headed by Acuna, trying to keep it in play was Rashad Ogun. Fusion, see if they can force a quick change of possession. Sukanome coming in from behind on Toby Millward. Now it goes back to Gonzalez, the goalkeeper. Ball sent low and through midfield, control back for Suzuki as Fusion will try and set things up offensively once more. Millward Loose as into the box again. Comes Med City. Scott Neal with some nice footwork. Neal. Now Tolbert. Oh, just up and over the goal. Might have been tipped on its way there as Henry Tolbert able to turn and send that one on goal, and I think might have got deflected on its way up. And Suzuki made a play on it, but it was up and over the goal and out of play. And a question of who will have possession, and it will be the Fusion.
I believe it was the line judge there telling the main referee in the middle of the field that the ball belongs to the Fusion. They got the call right.
Sent through midfield. Headed back. Well done defensively. Second header, and Xavier Agaro ends it high. Controlled by Med City again. Now they'll get it to Hart. Lucas Hart. Trying to put a second defender on him and deflected away. Nicely done to take care of him was Ethan Bishop, but it will stay with Med City as Hart will throw it in. Now they'll get things set up with Tolbert. Put him in the box. Now back to Hart, getting that return feed. Jamo. It's controlled, blocked. Blocked by the Fusion, and well done. They were able to clear it out, but controlled back. Andrew Wilkinson controls it now. Tolbert again. His denied. Great save there by Suzuki. That's the most challenging save of this match. Second chance for Tolbert. Save again. Made two of them here in just a matter of seconds. Now here comes Hart. Trying to keep some offensive pressure on. Trying to cross and just wide of the goal. Now that's the most sustained pressure either team has put on tonight. Is Hart kind of setting things up, but Tolbert, a couple of quality chances there for Med City.
Yeah, we talked about how there hasn't been a ton of chances for either team. Well, there's top chance number one and top chance number two right back to back. And I mean, for a goalkeeper who hasn't had to do a whole lot throughout much of this first half. I mean, he's had to make a few plays here and there with his feet, a couple with his hands. But to be able to come up with two really big saves, you see more so in hockey all the time. They talk about getting a goalie settled in, and really never had a chance to settle in before those two shots, and he was up to the task.
Here comes back Med City as we nearly at the 40-minute mark. Here comes Med City again, but denied. That one broken up nicely as it comes here to the near side. They've done a really nice job of kind of bottle things up on the outside, but honestly, Med City's maybe won the last 5 minutes or so. All cleared out finally by the Fusion. Headed back, and now with some open space comes Ethan Bishop. Trying to send that one along as he had Ogun down the near side, but taken back. Millward has that one broken up nicely there by Ethan Bishop. Out of play, it'll be thrown in by Med City.
Feels like some really big minutes here at the end of the first half. If either team is able to scratch across one before the half, get some momentum going.
Honestly, it's been tilted towards Med City here in about the last 5 minutes, so the Fusion can come out of this half and keep it scoreless. I think advantage Fusion there because Med City is taking a little more control of this match to this point. Toby Millward trying to weave his way through traffic. That one broken up nicely, like by Cal Pritchard for the Dakota Fusion, and out of play. So roughly about 4 minutes left of the half, and we'll see if they add some stoppage time to that as well. Med City just outside the box with possession. And they'll send it back and set up again. Hart trying to drop it off. Bulale, as the ball roll out of play, is back there for the Fusion. Back on defense for the Fusion there. Looking back to check and see who that was. And it'll be thrown in.
Looks like we have an injured Fusion player down on the field.
Looking to see. Yeah, there it is over in that far corner. Is kind of see it up towards the top of your screen. As this will maybe add some stoppage time. They have not. Okay, so they're going to stop the clock right now. They stopped it. 41:57 is the official time on that. Yep, so if they're going to give him, I think it's an injury. Yeah, let's see, check and see who this will end up kind of being a water break for them right before the half. So check and see. Can't tell right now as the trainer kind of blocking things out of our view. I'm trying to see just from the bench. That's not Sukanome. As we remain scoreless here in this first half. It just kind of gives us an opportunity here where, tell you what, really two quality saves by the goalkeeper Suzuki kind of came in succession there as he denied a couple of really quality opportunities. Scott Neal, Henry Tolbert. Talked a little bit about Lucas Hart over the course of this match, but really offensively it's been Tolbert and Neal that have really had the better and more plentiful opportunities to try and score.
Absolutely. They've been the guys in behind the Fusion defense with a couple of nice chances, and luckily for the Fusion, Suzuki up to the task so far. But if they can keep that sustained pressure, I think is the word you used a couple of minutes ago, that sustained pressure from either team really hasn't been there except for that one chance from Med City, and that's kind of the goal moving forward, I think, for them, is now they've kind of broken through. They've seen the formula to beat the Fusion. Now it's how do you do that time and time again.
Injured Fusion player up to his feet, but you can tell a little hitch in his giddy up as trying to see who that might be. He's favoring kind of his right leg and ankle. It might be Acuna, I believe. I'm just kind of looking to see the rest of the starters out there, and it might be Sebastian Acuna who kind of handles that side of the pitch. And boy, and it happened from the opposite side of the Fusion bench, so it's taken him a little time to. We'll see if he does head to the bench, and they do have a couple of reserves available if needed.
I doubt he will be going back into the game at all. Doesn't look like he's going to continue playing. It looks like
he's going very gingerly, and they will get a substitution into the match. Looks like Shintaro Endo will enter the match as he is given the okay to check in. And so Endo in for the injured, and it is Sebastian Acuna that heads to the bench, who is shaken up. Trainer will attend to him. And we will get things rolling once again as we will start up the clock, get that synced up, just to get everything caught up there. And there we go. So I think we are synced up with the official first half time, and we may have some stoppage time as whistle, I believe, a foul assist.
Yeah, looks like they got just a push on the jump there.
Yep, I think there might have been Millward perhaps. Millward was the one that kind of protested the loudest on a push, so free kick coming with Ethan Bishop. So here's the chance maybe the Fusion were maybe need to get, and even if they don't necessarily do anything with this, it's just maybe just to try and kind of tilt things to their end of the field. Headed back by Med City, and again they've been very, very physical, which is kind of what has been the case in their first couple of matchups this year. Fusion had to keep it in play near side. And out of play. Rashiro Morita kind of taking over essentially for Acuna to kind of handle that side of the field offensively. Here in the 43rd minute. And Sukanome get a chance from about 10 to 15 out on the free kick. Let's see what they do. Here comes the cross, And headed out by Med City and out of plays. Might have been Millward that headed that one. So now Ethan Bishop looks like will head over and do the honors here for the Fusion as we get towards the end of this first half.
With the strength he has throwing the ball, and it's almost like a corner kick in a sense, the way he can loft it in there, reeling close to the net.
And he will toss it in. Good toss. That was bottled up as they had their choice of two players. Did the Fusion. One was Ogaro, and had a whistle, and it'll be controlled by the Fusion. No, they're going to send it back. So Med City, with the goaltender Gonzalez, will handle things as approach the end of this first half. We'll see how much stoppage time. It kind of added some stoppage time at the end of this first half, and we'll see if we get word from the official. Fusion will control is, see what we have here for, we've hit the 45-minute mark. We have for stoppage time, we're at 45 minutes, but we're going to say 3 minutes until we're told otherwise. I think really the injury was the closest thing to stoppage time, and play will continue on, but will that be the end of the half? That will be the end of the half. So that will be the case there as we've hit the first half of play. And we will get to our first half, or halftime, quick halftime summary here as we get to that right now. We are at the half. The Fusion and the Med City Mayhem, no score. Really think about, we talked about maybe a 4 or 5 minute stretch as we got into the kind of the latter stages of the first half where I thought Med City really controlled things, kind of had things slanted to their side of the pitch, so to speak. They had more plentiful, maybe more quality scoring chances, and I think once the Fusion got through that, couple of nice saves, they tightened things up defensively. That maybe leveled things out a little bit, honestly, Riley, but we'll see how this all shakes out. So.
Yeah, it feels like no matter what the final score is, you can point back to those Suzuki saves there at the end of the first half. Whether the Fusion are able to win, those would be massive, of course. But even if Med City's able to come out on top, it would probably be a much closer game than if he was not able to come up with those. And I think for the Fusion, you just got to find a way to crack through that Med City defense, get a way to get some more guys involved. It's been pretty clear they're going to shut down Sukanome. That's been the goal. Yeah. So it's going to probably have to be somebody else stepping up, and we'll see who that might be. They'll go ahead and make some adjustments at the half. What
extent, maybe with the injury to Acuna, with looking like if he comes back, it's maybe going to be pretty limited here in the second half. How does that affect things? How does that change things for the Fusion?
Yeah, I think it doesn't necessarily change them a whole lot. I mean, you're looking at an outside defender, and so I think in the playoffs and throughout the season, it's got to have that next man up mentality, and you're probably going to make some substitutions towards the end of the second half anyway, and so maybe that just speeds up that time a little bit. And now a chance to get a new guy in there at the end of the first half, get him situated now, be ready for the whole entire second half, because those defenders are going to be big, whether you're able to get a goal and protect that lead or able just to keep Med City off the scoreboard and possibly push it to overtime.
Yeah, that's very true. So there's kind of look at the first half analysis there. Good match. Very, very tight, close to the vest, as you would expect. And I'd say probably the way the first half style of play was maybe favored Med City. We'll see if the Fusion can open things up a little bit in the second half. So we'll pause, take a break for a few minutes, come back with the second half here shortly. Here in this opening round NPSL playoff matchup here in the North Division is Dakota Fusion and the Med City Mayhem. We are scoreless. We'll be back in a few. Stay with us. out after the intermission as we get ready for half number 2 of this NPSL playoff matchup with Riley Swenson. I'm Brad Anderson. As the boss is up in Minot, Mike Mason with post 400 baseball. They lost a heartbreaker in their first game to Minot in a doubleheader, and their schedule got flipped around a little bit as they were rained out. Didn't make it to Williston. They got as far as Valley City and turned around. Williston got socked with rain, so that game, which was scheduled for Tuesday, will be played Thursday. So instead of Tuesday, Wednesday, it'll be Wednesday, Thursday there. So that's the kind of a schedule change, and Mike will be busy with that. You've got tournament baseball coming up here the next couple of weeks, and certainly Dakota Fusion, big and important part of our summer coverage here in Magnitude Sports as well, as we just moments away from getting the second half underway, and let's see what kind of adjustments the Fusion make here, especially offensively.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see what they came up with in the halftime break. And, really for both teams, I think that they can go to that halftime locker room with some good things for sure, but also definitely some things to clean up. Some decent scoring chances either way, but I think both teams trying to clean up some stuff on the offensive side of things, the attacking end of the field. They've been pretty solid defensively. Got to give credit to both teams on that front, but at the same point, I think that they could both look back at a couple of different scoring chances and maybe do them a different way. The set pieces haven't been great as far as corner kicks or free kicks. Really nothing has been very good from that standpoint. It's been pretty much all from the other defenses just making mistakes is where the biggest chances have come from.
So second half, all ready to get rolling here is we've had a 1-1 draw and second half is underway. Med City to control right away to start second half. Comes here to the near side as ball goes out of play as get the clock adjusted there as I can tell you opening minute of play in the second half as one of the Fusion players shaken up as looks like Cal Pritchard. So we'll try and make the score clock adjustment here, but we are about a minute in. Ball thrown in. As that one headed by Jamo, as the ball sent out of play, as it Med City will actually no Fusion will control again. Sebastian Acuna, as he was shaken up late in the first half, replaced by Shintaro Endo, but Acuna's night looks to be over as he is over on the Fusion bench. And Taro headed back. Over there by Jake Strahan, who's on defense, number 4. Jake Strahan controlled by Med City. Lucas Hart out there is Hart active in that first half. Scott Neal had a couple quality scoring chances, as did Henry Tolbert. Ball sent out of play and will be thrown in by the Fusion and Ethan Bishop. So honestly, the first couple of minutes looking very similar to what we saw early on in this match in the opening half.
You can see the sun starting to peek through onto the field. A welcome sight, as we said in the pregame. You had talked with them, maybe no lights.
Yeah, so potentially if there's no lights or not, and if this thing, overtime isn't out of the question, so at some point, you're going to run out of daylight. We're still at a, peak. You can probably get to, where are we at right now, 8:12, so you maybe got another good hour or so of light, maybe a little bit longer. The peak of the summer here in the Northern Plains. Ball through midfield. Matthew Roberts controlling. Roberts seeing some time out there, finding Toby Millward. That's on the near side, controlling Scott Neal. Trying to work his way back to the middle of the pitch. Millward for Matthew Roberts. Across the pitch it goes, trying to get it into the box, and they do, where it's controlled there. Bolale headed out by the Fusion. And cleared out by the Fusion. So right now Med City has really controlled possession very well, as tussle along the near side is over there was Rashawn Ogun for the Fusion. Got tangled up, looked like, with Tolbert. And Fusion will control, is be controlled there by For the Fusion, Shintaro Endo. As Endo will send it down, and now it'll be goalkeeper Iker Gonzalez from Med City. Oh, they're going to send the ball back, so it'll come back to Tolbert. And it will be Endo to send it in, and quickly does for the Fusion. A little bit of confusion there. Xavier Ogaro. Ogaro gets it back. And back to the goalkeeper, and it is cleared out nicely there by goalkeeper Kodai Suzuki. Suzuki 3 saves unofficially in that first half of play. Fusion come back with James Bolger. Look for Sukanome. Sukanome to control. It's about 10 to 15 yards out, just outside the box. Nifty footwork for Sukanome. And they look to control. Cal Pritchard. And taken away by Med City. Tolbert trying to keep it in play near side, and does. Nice job to control things. Tolbert, pass, connects, and blocked. Trying to connect, and it was blocked on the attempt. Tristan Jamo blocked out of play. Really, Tolbert set that up. Really a nice play with some space to work. We are nearly 5 minutes into the second half, as 49 and change is once the clock gets updated. I'm not sure why the clock has the adjustment it is, but we will start that up once it matches up and syncs up with the game clock. But we're right at about the 50-minute mark, 5 minutes into the second half now. Header attempt, Tolbert keeps it in play and cleared out by the Fusion. Cleared out nicely by the Fusion and Brandon Gasper. Comes Med City, as they will control back near midfield. Jake Strahan now comes near side for Martin Rasmussen and defenders. Seeing a little more time here in the second half of play. Suzuki clears it out, sends it in deep, as Pritchard sends it back out. At least 6 minutes into this second half of play, still scoreless. This NPSL playoff matchup, and a foul's going to be assessed on Med City. I wonder if it might be Toby Millward again that's going to be whistled for that. No, it's not Millward. But be free kick opportunity here for the Fusion, and they're going to let's see if it'll be Suzuki do the honors for that. Suzuki does the honors. Comes near side, header attempt. Bolger got a piece of it and cleared out of play. Bolger got it started, but now under the offensive attacking zone. It was previous foul on Med City. I believe it was on Tristan Jamo. And a corner opportunity coming here for Sukanome. Yu Sukanome. 16 goals on the season. Corner opportunity, headed out by Med City. See if the Fusion can keep on the offensive attack as Jamo, left-footed approach. Downfield, Tolbert, and out of play. Tolbert, that one broken up by Xavier Ogaro, but Tolbert will quickly throw it back in to try and keep the pace of play up here in the second half. A little over 7 minutes into the second half. 52-20 is the official time here in the second half. Sukanome, back come the Fusion. Downfield, Sukanome is cut off by both Rasmussen and Andrew Wilkinson. And the ball to play. So about 52 and a half minutes in. As it will be to throw it in for, it'll be for the Fusion. Tossed in, Acuna out and replaced by Shintaro Endo. All cut off. Gonzalez comes out and controls things, handles the ball for Med City. And we'll send that ball onward. Strahan Turns it back to the goalkeeper, Sukanome, and a run a little interference for the Fusion. One sent downfield. Fusion tighten things up and will be controlled back towards midfield. Back come the Fusion again. 53.5 minutes, about 8.5 minutes into the second half, and still no score. Fusion, very few scoring chances, really none so far in the second half of play. As Med City has kind of controlled the pace of play, has kept things very physical and aggressive style. Set down the length of the pitch. Go back to Gonzalez. Strahan here on the near side. They'll send it a little bit deeper. Nice job to pass that Rasmussen and sent that one along for Matthew Roberts. And that will go to the goalkeeper for the Fusion, Kodai Suzuki. Long feed. It's like Rasmussen there for Med City. Nice job. He took Ogun off the play and out of the play that time. Ball rolls out of play to the far side. About 9.5 minutes into the second half. 54.5 minutes and counting altogether in this second half and in the match altogether. So nearly into the 10th minute of the second half. Mid City, as I know, will control here, and they will. They'll throw it in. Battle for it over there for the Fusion, Ethan Bishop. And change of possession, Fusion working with it. And trying to keep it in play. It's kicked out of play by Med City. It's by Andrew Wilkinson and out of play as we'll go back to Med City. They'll throw it in. Back towards midfield once more. Nearly 11 minutes into the second half. We're nearly 56 minutes into this match. Still scoreless. Winner moves on. The second round of playoff action would be essentially the North Conference final. Duluth, the number 1 seed, in action tonight, and heavy favorite there. If Duluth wins, it would be held in Duluth this weekend. I believe Saturday is still the scheduled date for that. If they would be upset, then the winner of this matchup would host. A lot of things would need to happen for that to take place. Now Fusion trying to come back with it with Ogun. Ogun here on the near side. Ogun. Step for step with him was Rasmussen, and the ball out of play. 56.5 minutes total into this match, so into nearly 12 minutes into the second half.
Another corner kick here for the Fusion. They really haven't had any success so far with these corner kicks. That Med City's has been done a fantastic job of getting in the way and quickly having it exit the box. So we'll see what they're able to do here on this one.
Sukanome in the corner kick. Had it. Ooh, just wide. That was really the best setup of the night. Ben Colborn had a chance.
Yeah, coming up from that defense spot, long, lanky frame, able to just jump above everyone. A really well-struck ball from Sukanome right to the forehead of Ben Colborn. He looked like he was going for that top left corner and kind of gave a look of a little bit of disbelief, but also I think he knew that was probably one of the best chances they're going to have here in this second half.
Yeah, looked like just wide to the just outside of the top left corner as Gonzalez with the approach and headed back by Bolger and out of play. About 12.5 minutes completed into the second half. Rasmussen throws it in for Med City. They try to find Tolbert. And Bolger with the approach. Sends that one deep as they're trying to connect with Morita. And ball out of play along the far side. Fusion will control with Bishop. Bishop to toss it in. Bishop finding Bolger. Now Bishop to handle and taken back by Med City. About 58 minutes in, a little over 13 minutes into the second half of play. Still 0-0. Not a goal so far. Now Marita showing off his speed. Marita. Chance and wide. That was Sukanome, so they kind of got a really good scoring chance for him, and about 15 to 20 out. Went high and wide.
Yeah, that was a pretty good scoring chance, but I think Sukanome might have settled a little bit. I think he could have taken a couple extra dribbles trying to beat his defender and turn a good opportunity into a great opportunity, and that's kind of the battle you fight as you go into the second half deeper and deeper of, you'd like to get that grade A chance, but also maybe just a grade B or C chance is enough to finally get a goal on the board. I think it's going to be that team, though, that pushes that extra guy ahead, and really neither team right now has been willing to pull an extra guy up from that defense spot. They've been pretty content with keeping everyone on the back line. I think that first team that takes that risk is going to present a goal chance either one way or another for the team on the attack or possibly the counterattack.
Yeah, kind of a risk-reward type of opportunity there, and might have to take a few more gambles. And, that one hit the side of the goal off a turnover, off the side of the pipe. Now in Med City. Take it away. Gasper took it away, but, boy, that was nearly disaster for the Fusion there as Med City, as close as they've been all evening long. Rasmussen controls. Now Strahan for Med City. Millward. He'll try and keep that pressure on, but, boy, after a turnover, a golden opportunity. Tristan Jamo, as the ball went just nudged off the left goal pipe. Matthew Roberts now for Med City, based out of Rochester, Minnesota. Tolbert. As they look to control again, Scott Neal had an active first half. That one headed back out. A little over 15 minutes into the second half. We are getting into the 61st minute altogether. Still scoreless second half of play here in Moorhead. Bolger. Trying to send that one along, trying to find Marita. Now Tolbert bottled up, trying to work his way into the 18. Trying to work his way into the box. And a couple of extra dribbles to try and get free. Now Scott Neal. For Jumeau. On a cross. Headed out by the Fusion, but they'll keep it in the box. Controlled there. And taken out. Handling things was Lucas Hart. Comes down the near side. Trying to keep it in play as Sukanome being aggressive there on Jake Strahan. And ball out of play. 61-15 into this match, so a little over 16 minutes into the second half of play. Ball loose. Fusion handling things Ogun. Had a couple of extra dribbles, but really ran out of room here along the near side. Out of play. Rasmussen throws it in for Med City. Now Tolbert. Cleared away. Nicely done that time. Handled well by Xavier Ogaro. Now for Marita. Look for Sukanome. Working his way into the box. Marita. And that one just wide, and getting a piece of it was Gonzalez. Might have just enough to redirect that one as Sukanome kind of set up, trying to towards up high, down to the top of the box area. So Marita just kind of threw that one on goal and forced the goaltender to make a play on it. Here comes Sukanome on a corner opportunity.
And it's almost like when you have a star wide receiver and they double team him, everyone else has one-on-one coverage. It's kind of what the situation is now for the Fusion. Everyone else is one-on-one with their defender. We'll see who's able to finally come up with a win.
Corner by Sukanome, but Fusion will look to control. Ogaro. Couple of dribbles into traffic. And they are able to keep it in play. Ogun over to the corner with it. And out of play. Now it's going to, I believe, stay. No, it will belong to Med City. So they did a good job kind of bottling things up and just kind of put him in a box over in that corner. He just had nowhere to go. And Gonzalez will do the honors here for Med City. Rasmussen on the run. Gathers it in. Pass along. Stumbling Tolbert onto the turf, but keeps it in play. Advancing it down the far sideline. Working on, I believe it's Marita. And it is. Ball goes over to Lucas Hart. Scott Neal. Neal near side. Blocked. On the attempt, Millward had it blocked. Fusion come out, and here comes Sukanome in space, but met by a pair of Med City defenders. And play continues on. Nearly 19 minutes into the second half. Marita with a good scoring opportunity early for the Fusion. A near miss by Med City a few minutes prior to that. They probably had a slight edge here in the second half, maybe altogether on the match as far as number of scoring chances, quality scoring chances, but still no score. And that one batted away. Nicely done that time by goalkeeper Kodai Suzuki. Got a piece of that one as they went and tried to go up top.
And these saves for the goalkeepers they get harder and harder as the game moves deeper and deeper. Even the routine ones become, maybe you're shaking a little bit in your boots as that ball comes in, because you know that anything that slips by you is probably going to be the game-winning goal at this point.
Yeah, I would say we talked about one. It's been 1-1 and 1-0 in these first two matchups, and boy, it's looking that way where I think one's going to be. There was an old Three Dog Night song, one's the loneliest number, one might be the victorious number tonight here at Jim Goda Stadium. Corner opportunity for Med City, and headed and off the side of the goal is kind of into traffic, and a quality chance there for Med City. So it went kind of over to, had to go over to the far side, had to go to the far post.
Yeah, and Suzuki able to do just enough to get a hand on that and knock it off the edge of the goal. And that's kind of the exact one I'm talking about, where that's a pretty routine save for a goalkeeper, but nothing is routine at this point in the game. And we've talked about corner kicks and set pieces possibly being the difference, and that one a good chance. Last time Dakota Fusion with a good chance on a corner kick, and we'll see what Med City's able to come up with this time.
They tried to set it up for Hart. Now Hart will have the corner opportunity. He will set things up as they have Jake Strahan, Wilkinson there, Rasmussen, also Toby Millward. Nope, they won't. They'll get it back into possession of Hart, but cleared out by the Fusion. Mishandled by Tolbert. And the Fusion will try to put a little defensive pressure and see if they can force turnover or change of possession. Med City controls. They try to get it back to Tolbert. Ethan Bishop over there now for the Fusion along the far side. For Marita. Trying to dribble and handle things well. Some contact and a foul on Marita. Looks like Med City will regain possession and will get a free kick opportunity. So we got the clock realigned with the game clock, and so nearly halfway through this second half as we approach 67 minutes of play and still scoreless. It'll be about 25 to 30 out on the free kick opportunity. On the cross, defended well, trying to go in deep for Toby Millward, but denied by Xavier Ogaro for the Fusion as Suzuki will find Xavier Ogaro for the Dakota Fusion. Long for Marita, backpedaling, trying to keep it in play and kind of let him a little too far with it. Long stretch opportunity. Thrown in. And we will have a stoppage.
I think a foul there on Ben Colborne is going to be the call.
So Colborne with the foul will set up a free kick opportunity. So they will be 20 to 25, just outside at 20. I believe that's going to be Lucas Hart. I think it's going to be Hart that will do the free kick honors. They'll set up the wall just in the box. Rasmussen now will set things up, and right for Suzuki as they had Wilkinson there, likewise Strahan, but Fusion bottled it up well. Suzuki sends it deep. Sukanome, as that's going to be maybe a foul as well, as Sukanome got bottled up as he was trying to find Rashad Ogun. And actually, it will be Med City to control. Like the idea, though, trying to get Sukanome, kind of the second defender, kind of that chaser, trying to maybe open things up for Ogun. Headed and advanced by Med City. Tried to connect with Scott Neal along the far side, not a play. So over 24 minutes into the second half, still scoreless in this first round playoff matchup. The Fusion, Tolbert, nice feed, and it is in for a goal. The goal for Lucas Hart. And it is a 1-0 Med City lead. So that goal, about the 69th minute, about 69 and change, it will go to the leading goal scorer. Or actually, I believe it was Neal. It was, I believe, 11 that got that one. If it was he or Hart. And it's a 1-0 advantage here for Med City.
Now that really changes just the outlook of the game for them, because now you can just pack it in defensively, and you don't want to get so far in your own defensive zone where you're just taking constant pressure from the Fusion, but you're able to send a couple extra guys back on defense. And like we said, that one goal, it really does. It feels like 2, 3, maybe even 4 at this point. And now the Fusion really got to push to try and keep their season alive.
Like be Lucas Hart that will get the goal on that. As for Lucas Hart, one of the top goal scorers, actually his 4th of the year, ties him for 2nd on the team in goals. So now 1-0. So now it really puts the pressure on the Fusion. They might have to take a few more chances here. Sukanome. Over to the near side. They try to keep it in play. On a cross, denied. Ball is loose, and Med City clears it out. Tried to find Shantaro Endo, and there you see they've kind of pressed a button, I think, on the Fusion, for the Fusion here, whereas Tolbert cannot keep it in play. But I think it's kind of not quite in a turbo mode here, but they know they might have to take a few more chances and going to have to be much more aggressive here in the final, what's under 20 minutes.
Yeah, and how fitting would that have been? You go 70 minutes without a goal, and then 2 goals in the span of just over a minute.
You kind of get lulled into that.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I think Med City does. Here's a long feed trying to connect. Was it offsides?
I think it is going to be
Yep,
offsides.
looks like it's
the
going to
Med
be
City coaching
offsides.
staff not too happy with the call.
Tristan Jameau trying to break down downfield, and the Med City coaching staff didn't like that call at all. But you kind of teams that do that, they're kind of bottle things up. You kind of get lulled into that, and you need a goal. You need something to kind of break free of that. And honestly, obviously the goal has definitely forced things here quite a bit. So ball to play. 72 minutes in, so roughly about 18 minutes. We'll see if there will be any stoppage time remaining. So the Fusion down 1-0. 1-0-1 is Med City against the Fusion, and trying to remain without a loss. And Tolbert, good dribbling work there. Gets the return feed. Right at the edge of the box, taken back by the Fusion. Trying to connect with Morita. Nice footwork. Now Sukanome, can he get to it? No. Lead feed, good idea, but anticipating well was the goalkeeper Gonzalez, and comes out at the edge of the box to get that loose ball. It'll go back to Gonzalez. Now we'll see Sukanome trying to put a little defensive pressure on. Headed by Rasmussen. Handled well. Comes to the near side. Roberts. He'll chase after it. Ball rolling out of the edge of the box. On the near side it goes. Now Strahan for Med City. Comes an opportunity again. They'll drop it off. First attempt blocked, and that's on the rebound attempt, sent home for a goal. I think it might be Jamo. As that one on the 73rd minute in, and boy, that might seal the deal at this point. The 73rd minute, and it's now a 2-0 Med City lead.
And that one feels like...
That feels like a dagger.
Could be the dagger. Is exactly the word I was looking for.
Believe it'll be Tristan Jamo that will get the goal on that here for Med City.
Now you really got to put your foot on the gas pedal if you're the Fusion. There's...
You kind of feel, like I said, you're going to have to, whatever you've got deep into the playbook, you're going to have to dig deep now.
And they're going to be going full steam ahead, so it's either going to be they're going to get that goal and get it back to a 1-goal deficit, or it could get out of hand pretty quickly here, depending on just how much the Fusion want to push ahead and leave, their goalkeeper out to dry in a sense.
Goalborn sending along the far sideline, but cleared back out by Med City. And boy, now they're really gonna bottle things up as Endo back towards midfield, handling things, and sends it far side. Ethan Bishop. Downfield it goes, as a little bit of contact there and getting hauled down. Looked like it was Ogun, and it was Rashad Ogun that got hauled down.
And I don't necessarily...
Hauled down, I believe, it was Matthias Milla that held him down. I want to see if there'll be a yellow card or not.
Doesn't look like it.
I don't think so.
But I don't think that's necessarily the worst move of, if you know you're going to get beat, just as long as they're outside of the box, it's not going to be a penalty kick.
Mm-hmm.
Tackle them. They haven't been very good at set pieces tonight so far. The Fusion have not. So make them set something up. It's going to take some time. I mean, off that clock, it just keeps ticking. They always add stoppage time, but it never seems like they add the exact amount taken off. It's always a little short. So
Sukanome, and that batted aside by Gonzalez. He just went straight on. And that's a very good point. If worst case they do get one, you've got a lead, and time is short.
Exactly.
That's where that, like I said, the 1 goal, but you got that 2-goal cushion. That really looms large as free kick opportunity. They're going to send Sukanome over here to the near corner.
I like the move from Sukanome, though, just trying to go straight in. Sometimes you see, he's been the guy all year, just trying to take over here at this point. They need a big play, and that's who they're going to look to. And he just tried to drive that one in the top of the net and almost did so.
So use Sukanome. He's low. Morita dribbles back for Sukanome. On a cross, headed and saved. Bolger on the header and denied there by the goalkeeper Gonzalez once more. So about 76 and a half minutes. So we'll see how much stoppage time. So we've got at least 13 and a half minutes, if not more, in the second half of play. 2-0 Med City. Headed there by Shantaro Endo. He came in for the injured Sebastian Acuna late in the first half. Comes back to Iker Gonzalez, the goalkeeper. Some defensive pressure trying to force a mistake over there. Bolger likewise with Rashad Ogun, and will be thrown in by the Fusion. Med City's going to plead their case, but to no avail. Ethan Bishop tosses it in. Trying to find Sukanome, but headed out by Andrew Wilkinson for Med City. Well, a lot of contact there, and it's just going to be another foul call. And I think they're just willing to. Oh, there is going to be a yellow card. So it's going to be a yellow card against Med City. I believe it's going to be, I think it was Bulale. But it will be a free kick opportunity. And it's going to be Sukanome on the free kick. Headed out again by Wilkinson. Sukanome trying to play it off the bounce and does. Let's see, look at him go. Sukanome around one defender. Now we'll drop it off. On a cross, knocked away, cleared out. Now Tolbert. Tolbert tangled up with Endo, trying to get free. Now they get him in space. Tolbert is knocked down as he is sent down by Gasper. And he goes down. And they'll get a substitution to get Tolbert out, and they'll get substitution in. It's like Giovanni Soares, what we've got here on the roster. It looks like he will check in, and Fusion will get substitution in as well. I believe Stan Vandenbeld is what we have here on our roster. Is Gasper limping a little bit as he will check out. And substitutions on both sides. Looks like Vandenbeld will check in here now for the Fusion. As nearly into the 80th minute. So the two goals coming roughly about 4 minutes apart in the 69th and 73rd minute here for Med City with a 2-0 advantage. As Lucas Hart and Tristan Jumeau on the goals, as it will be Toby Millward with the free kick. Scott Neal near side. Now Fusion getting aggressive, trying to force the issue a little bit. A foul is issued on the Fusion and Shantaro Endo. So it should be another free kick. This will be a little bit closer, and they'll just advance that on to Neal. No reason to get real cute at this point. Comes over to the far side where it's handled there by Lucas Hart. Work to the edge of the box, cleared out by the Fusion. Is about roughly 9.5 minutes of regulation time, and we'll see what kind of stoppage time is added, but time is short regardless here for the Fusion if they want to keep their season alive. And this first playoff game here at Jim Goda Stadium. Ball out of play. This is exactly where Med City, I said, once they get a lead, it's going to try and spread things out, keep possession time, and try and basically make the Fusion work the entire pitch. And that sequence there in the final minutes, just a perfect example of that. Matthew Roberts advances that one along. Quick pass wide of Neal. And the Fusion will quickly throw it back in, or they're going to get everything set things up first, and now we'll control. Long feed, headed back out. Vandenbeld, cleared out. It's headed back out. We're approaching the 82nd minute, still 2-0. Vandenbeld trying to keep it in play, and the ball out of play. And Fusion will throw it in with Endo. He tried to pass nearly connected, and really good footwork there by Morita. Now cleared out. Well done again by Med City. Colburn is back there. Colburn likewise Xavier Ogaro on defense. Trying to connect on the run as Ogun. Ogun into the box through two defenders and had the ball taken away and cleared out of the box that time. Colburn trailing the play. Sends it into the box. Gonzalez will chase down the loose ball. We approach the 83rd minute of play. 2-0 Med City. So Gonzalez on the approach. Back towards midfield. Scott Neal sends that one along. Taken away by the Fusion now as they work through midfield. Nice job to get things started. Xavier Ogaro on defense. Again, they're going to have to get aggressive, force a quick turnover, and see if you get a transition opportunity. Ball rolls out of play. I like the aggressive nature, but Med City is not again, they have not really allowed the Fusion, out of the forwards and their main offensive guys, to work with a lot of free space. It's been the exception rather than the rule as play continues on. Early 83rd minute. We'll have a substitution here as Ricardo Schroeder, it looks like, is going to come into the match. Out will go Lucas Hart as he'll check out, and I think they can kind of sense it at this point. So Tolbert and Hart out, as with a 2-goal lead and time winding down, like they may get their crack perhaps at Duluth, if Duluth winning their match at home tonight.
The substitution, too, just some gamesmanship there.
Yeah.
Saw a slow walk over from Hart, taking some time off that clock.
Endo trying to find Sukanobe, but just out of his reach. Goaltender Gonzalez comes up with that one. They're in the 84th minute, and yeah, just say they're not in a hurry. That is for sure. No question about that. Just checking on the Duluth match. Looks like a 3-1 lead at last check. Just checking out the Duluth NC. Now they were up 2-1 at halftime. Now a 3-1 lead in their matchup. Along the near side, Sukanome couldn't get free, and we'll have a whistle. They were taking on, I believe, Minneapolis, or as they were looking at their match. They fell behind early in that matchup at 1-0. Duluth FC with 3 unanswered goals with a 3-1 lead. That other first-round matchup. And the ball out of play. Here in the NPSL postseason. Marita finding Bolger. Comes along the near side with it for Bishop. Time winding down, under 5 minutes in regulation. Well, again, we'll see what kind of stoppage time there is, but if it stands right now, Med-City would get a crack at Duluth. They've held their own just fine in the 2 regular season matchups. That would be Saturday in Duluth if the score keeps as it is, and Duluth has a 2-goal lead in their match at home, Duluth FC. Fusion throw it in. Tried to find Bolger, but headed out by Med-City. Battle for the ball. Fusion wanted a foul, and it's kicked out of play as Ricardo Schroeder trying to grab it and take off down the near side. He got tangled up with Pritchard. 86th minute, as we're about 3.5 minutes left in regulation. Rasmussen tosses that one in on one bounce. Back come the Fusion with it down the near side as getting tripped up was Vandenbeld and out of play. Still win or lose, a successful campaign for the Fusion as they've, again, really have ramped up the talent level with this team and this franchise. Good local talent in Colburn, but have really stretched out to find some great talent. Sukanome, probably as good a season as we've had in the history of this franchise, and one of the best seasons in recent memory in the NPSL altogether. Here's Marita. As Marita trying to handle things, dribble, and a whistle and a stoppage as Bishop comes along the near side. Bishop overseeing things, and now with the approach, finding Marita. Marita into the box. He tried to kind of switch legs, but had taken away there by Marita as he tried to dribble and handle things and had the ball taken free. Roberts over to the far side. Med City trying to keep it in play. Out of play. Bishop to toss it in. Time winding down on this one. Well, the lights or the lack of it, I don't think it's going to be an issue at this point, but we wondered if it might be, but I think it's going to be a footnote in this match this evening.
Well, my simple math tells me, Brad, that the sun's going to set here I'd give it another 20 minutes
I was
or
going to say
so.
probably 9:10,
Yep.
9:15, somewhere in there. Yeah.
And we've still got a few minutes left here in regulation. You think a slight break before extra time, 30 minutes of extra time. By the time we possibly got to penalty kicks, I can assure you the sun would be down and they'd be kicking in pitch black.
Yep, they tried to cross there for Bulger, but had it on, and Gonzalez scoops it up. Actually, a pretty good opportunity there for the Fusion here late.
Gonzalez has been solid tonight. He is not going to be necessarily the most talked about with this win. Hasn't made necessarily a ton of saves, but he's made the ones that have needed to be made, and is definitely a factor in them moving on.
And I think that's and I would say the way this roster and this team is set up, that's probably what they want him to do, is just, you don't have to be flashy, just make the ones that come your way, and he certainly answered the bell again this evening. He probably, and it's got to be tough as a goalkeeper because the way that they're set up roster-wise and how they go about things, you're not going to face a lot of shots. So you got to kind of keep yourself, kind of mentally ready to go.
And on top of that, your team's probably not going to score a ton of goals, and so that makes every save even more important, even if it is just a routine one.
Colborne advances it. Bishop out of play. Final seconds, and again, we'll see what kind of stoppage time we have. I can't imagine it'll be maybe more than
3 minutes.
I was going to say
2 minutes, maybe.
Well, like I say, or kind of take an educated guess on what we'll have there as far as stoppage time. Gonzalez, as we've hit the 90-minute mark. We're going to say a couple of minutes of stoppage time here. Here's a chance, and Gonzalez gets a piece of it. The second attempt, I think it hit the pipe. Sukanome set it up, and then second opportunity just wide. But Sukanome was the one that set that up beautifully.
And not much time left, but you get that one right there, and possibly then you're just a play away at any moment of possibly tying it up, and that was probably going to be, if there was ever going to be a comeback, that was the chance, and it seems like now Med City feels really, really comfortable.
Yep. Vandenbeld had the second opportunity there, set up by Sukanome. As we are into stoppage time right now on this one, as we figure the final couple of minutes ticking away on this one. Comes back to Gonzalez. Controlled by Bulger. We have a whistle. Is it Ogaro? No, somebody got held. It was Ogun. And free kick opportunity coming here for the Fusion. It'll be roughly about over 40 yards, 40 to 45 out. They'll kick from the left hash here, or that the number is at the 40-yard line. And goes straight to Gonzalez. Kind of feels like more of the official last gasp here on this one. Scoreless first half, 2 goals roughly about 4 minutes apart. The 69th and 73rd minutes for Med City. As we will have like a foul again, as it will be handled by Med City.
Final whistle coming any second here, I think.
I would think so, yeah. Med City, they have not given up a goal. They shut out Sioux Falls at home last Wednesday. Prior to that, a pair of 1-1 stalemates, one with Duluth. That was a home match in Rochester on July 2nd. And then with the Minnesota Twin Stars, who are the number 4 seed, they are up in Duluth tonight, trailing 3-1 at last look. That was a 1-1 draw as well. And then Med City broke out for, I wonder how they got to 7, but they did against El Sierras and La Crosse back on June the 21st. So into remaining stoppage time, at this point. We were guessing 2 minutes, might have been a little bit longer, maybe closer to 3 or 4, but final moments ticking away on this one. As Suzuki going to chase that ball down. Fusion will control. 2-0. Now one tossed in, and that I think it's going to be it. Man, that will be the end of this match. So Med City comes in and they continue to play well. They have not lost since a 1-0 loss to Duluth on May 31st. They've had 3 ties, but the unbeaten streak now, reaching at it here in that stretch. 3 ties, 4 wins, so it looks like 8 in the unbeaten streak on this one, and ends up a 2-0 final here this evening. So 2-0 final here as the season comes to a close, but a successful one is Yusuke Nome. They bottled him up extremely well, but really was the star of this Dakota Fusion squad with 16 goals on the season as he had 16. Shoki Yoshida, who we did not see tonight, with 8. Ben Colborn did some good things, local product out of Moorhead here, and got some final thoughts on this one. I thought Med City, this was a style of game that they, I think, kind of preach, and they certainly practiced that tonight.
Absolutely. They came in with a plan, and they executed it to perfection. And for the Dakota Fusion, I mean, you got some chances, not anything really great. You know, there's not that one chance that stands out and think, man, if they would have got that one should have been a goal. I mean, there's definitely some that could have been goals, but not necessarily should have been goals. And I think that really was the difference, because Med City got chances that should have been goals and eventually were goals. And so they just applied more pressure throughout, and I think we kind of mentioned at the end of the first half, you could feel that momentum switch. And I think that's really where the game really did flip, is right there at the end of the first half. We're into the halftime break, and it looked like Med City came out in the second half with just more of a plan overall. And like we said, they executed it to perfection. But for Dakota Fusion, like we've been saying all night, a successful season, nothing to hang your head about. And, I mean, probably weren't going to beat Duluth anyway. They seem like they're just at the top of the pack right now. We'll see what Med City's able to do this weekend when they make the trip there, assuming they hold on to win. But a successful year, and always a fun atmosphere here with the Dakota Fusion, and a beautiful night for soccer overall. No complaints on our end, at least from the broadcast.
Yeah, I was check here and see if we do have a final on that. They're getting late. It's about in the 78th minute at last update. Actually closer to about the 80th minute right now, and they have added another goal. So it looks like they got a 4-1 lead on the Minnesota Twin Stars right now. So looks like it'll be Med City and Duluth. And in those regular season matchups, May 31st in Duluth at the Public School Stadium, Duluth FC won 1-0. We talked about earlier, they met about 10 days ago, July 2nd in Rochester. That was a 1-1 draw. Since Med City's last loss, it's now an 8-match unbeaten streak. Check this out, Riley. They have given up. There's been a couple of shutouts, including one of the Fusion. They've given up 4 goals in that stretch. This is the 4th shutout that stretch.
That's pretty darn good. That's pretty darn good.
That's hard to go against. So it's our final Fusion broadcast of the season. On behalf of Mike Mason and all of us here at Magnitude Sports, we certainly appreciate you joining us tonight and throughout the season, and hope to see you back in 2024. There you see the final, the Med City Mayhem here at Jim Goda Stadium here at Moorhead High, as goals in the 69th and 73rd minute. Again, the goal scores before we call it an evening here for Med City as they pick up that victory. Let's get those goal scorers here for you. Hang on, I have to find the final roster here. As it was a final of 2-0. As we'll wrap things up here in just a moment, where you see the final teams there as Lucas Hart in the 69th minute and Tristan Jameau, but a little over 4 minutes later in the 73rd minute, and that'll put this baby to bed. 2-0 the final score, and for all of us here, so long from Jim Goda Stadium. That will wrap up this matchup here from Jim Goda Stadium at Moorhead High. Have a good night.
Preceding broadcast was an exclusive presentation of the Magnitude Sports Network. Subscribe, click the bell, and visit magnitudesn.com for a schedule of our upcoming broadcasts.